All right, so now you know why you should invite visitors, because they bring that energy, they bring referrals, they do all that. And now you know what a visitor would expect, right? So this is what a visitor would expect. How do we do that? Let's go through the process. The way to do that is to have a visitor host coordinator to manage and maintain the system. And we have people who greet people when they walk in the door. We have people who receive them at the table here. We have people who introduce those visitors to the rest of the chapter after they've gone through reception. And then we have the orientation after the meeting. And then we have follow-up. Those are the steps. If we follow those steps, we don't have a leaky bucket. What is the leaky bucket? It's visitors coming and going without any activity being done by anybody that really makes the process move forward. And basically wasting your time inviting visitors. What we want to do is make sure we've captured their experience well. Again, we can let them come and go, but if we let them come and go with purpose and with meaning and with their questions answered, we're probably going to have a better and more successful team. The greeters are responsible for greeting people. Oh my God. You know, we thought about being obtuse with the names, but this is just simple stuff. They are probably downstairs when people walk in the door. They might be out in the cold, greeting people as they walk up to the Royal Automotive Club. How neat would that be? If you had someone out front saying, yes, you're in the right place. This is it. Just go on in, sign in, and then up the stairs. Someone greeting people. Do you want them to come all the way up the stairs before they see a BNI person? Maybe. Maybe not. At All About Business, we've decided that the cold is worth it for the warm welcome that they get. And we've asked them to put a heater out there for us. And in the summer, it's brilliant. Everybody loves being a visitor host in the summer because they're all out front and bringing people in. We're a large chapter. So are you. This is a large group of people. And when you have a large group of people in a room and a couple of people guiding people up to that room, it might be a very nice way to start. So that's what the greeters do. The welcome email is sent out by BNI Connect. The people know where to come. You greet them when they get there. Greet them at the door. Get 3 of their business cards. Ask for 3. One of the reasons that you're asking for the business cards, especially if you're downstairs, you're going to bring them up. And we always had 2 greeters at the front. Why? Number 1, so that one of them could leave and go to reception. And number 2, so that they weren't lonely when there weren't any visitors that were there at the moment. They could talk to someone. They weren't just standing there waiting. They were having a chat and making it look lively and making it be lively. We want it to be fun. Who invited them? I don't like the word sponsor. That's obtuse. Who invited them? How'd you get invited here? I found it on the web. Fabulous. They know nobody. You now know that they know nobody. You can give them different support than you would if they were invited by Laura. You can say, oh, great, Laura's already upstairs. If they say, Laura invited me, boom, she's upstairs already. Let's take you up. Boom, you go. But if they found it on the web, or if Bob introduced them to it, or someone from another chapter said that they should visit you guys, which is going to happen, then you should definitely, absolutely, positively guide them more than you would if they've been invited by someone. Is their category filled or is it available? Now, why do you want to know that? You want to know that because if the category is filled, so I'll go back to the Brad example. Another accountant comes in to the chapter. The first thing that you want to do is greet them with enthusiasm and say, thank you so much for coming. You don't want to go, oh, we already have an accountant. You laugh now, but it's been done. Oh, we already have an accountant. I'm not quite sure why you're here. Now, they got up at 5 in the morning. They organized the kids to get to school. They've done all of this work. They've paid $45. They don't know what they're coming to. They've gotten all of this stuff done, and they're kind of enthusiastic about it because someone talked them into being here. And they walk in, and you greet them with that. That's not going to be a good impression, and it's not going to start you on the right foot. Instead, no matter what they say, the answer is, welcome. So good to have you here. No matter what position they're in. And I want you to realize something, and this is where Wendy, the brand person, comes in. There are 2 brands that you are supporting. And I'm so glad that Shine is one of them because it's a great name. The brand of Shine, the brand of your chapter, that's an important one. And that's the brand that you focus on if the category is open. If the category is open, you say, that's fantastic. We at the Shine chapter are so happy to have you here. You know what? We don't have someone in your category in our group. We would love for you to enjoy the meeting and just see who you can meet. Who can I introduce you to? That's the sort of greeting you want when the category is open. And if it's filled, the brand that you're supporting is BNI. Because if you give them a great experience, then BNI's reputation increases, and they will refer people to BNI chapters, including yours. If you give them a bad experience that their category is filled, they will start to badmouth BNI because they didn't make me feel really welcome. It's a club, it's a cult. Count on every chapter to lift you up. Every chapter to work that brand, because the brand of BNI is really, really important. So if the category is filled, who would you like to meet today? Why are you here? What can we make successful for you? And you might introduce them, by the way, let me be clear about this. If I'm introducing an accountant to the group and I really want to invite them and I've gotten them to say, yes, I'll come, one of the first calls I'm going to make is to Brad saying, by the way, Brad, I've invited my accountant and she's marvelous. I've been working with her for years. I want her to meet this person, and this person. I'm so excited about introducing her. I'll introduce her to you. Maybe you could tell her how great BNI has been for your business. He now knows what to expect. You know what I mean? It makes him feel more comfortable that you've got someone in the room. He should feel comfortable anyway, but what if he's pre-warned that there's someone else in the room that's in accounting? He'll be able to come with the right mindset instead of the mindset of, I'm the accountant. Don't mess with me. It's my seat. The greeter introduces the person to reception. This whole conversation that I've had for 5 minutes takes 20 seconds. Hi, how are you? Yeah. What brings you here today? Okay, Matt invited me. Great, Matt invited you. Then fabulous. Let me take you up to the reception area where we can get you in. Do you have a few business cards? I'll give them to the reception and give the 3. One of those business cards is for reception, one is for the president, and one is for the visitor host coordinator. Okay? So just so you know how they get used, you take those, you put those. The rest of their business cards they're going to put onto the tray that gets passed around. So at reception, these are the people sitting at this table here. They might not be sitting. They could be standing. Do they have a prior booking? If they have a prior booking, then they probably have already paid and done everything and gotten everything in order. Now, you're going to have systems and procedures that are unique to your chapter. And if you are collecting money at the door, you'll collect the money at the door. If you're taking prepayments and getting it done through Eventbrite, you do it through Eventbrite. And any other way that you decide that you're going to do it, you'll do it. But do they have a prior booking? And if they do, you probably already have their name tag made out for them. Have they made payment, or do you need to get payment? Do you have a receipt book there to give them a receipt? A lot of people need a receipt. It's a business expense, isn't it? So we want to be professional. Just have a little receipt book. Write them out a receipt. Make it official so it's professional. They all need a name tag. What happens is you stop introducing people because you're like, oh my God, I have been with them for 8 weeks and I don't remember their name. 8 weeks and they think I know their name. They know my name. I walked in and they know mine. Oops. Why do I often wear a necklace that has my name on it? I think names should be tattooed to your forehead so that people can remember what they are. But since they aren't, name tags at BNI are critical. Always wear your name tag, and if you're a member, always wear your member name tag so that the people who are visitors know you're a member. That is an important element of it's a hidden element of the meeting, actually, that they can see who the visitors are versus the members. And if you're a member who's lazy and doesn't bring your member badge, and so therefore you have a visitor badge that's got your name handwritten on it, they think you're a visitor. It's not as professional. It doesn't show membership. It doesn't show pride. They don't ask you the same kinds of questions that they will if you're a member. Because you bet your bottom dollar, the first thing they're going to ask you if they see a member badge is, so how long have you been doing this? How long have you been a member of BNI? And they are inquiring about the value of the membership to you. Cards. You want to get their cards as the reception, and you want to put them onto a tray so that that tray can be given to the president, and the president can then pass it around when it gets to that part of the agenda. How many cards? At least enough for everybody to take one. And that should be part of your welcome email to encourage them to bring that many cards. The short visitor registration form, all of the forms are available online, and as BNI Connect begins to infiltrate all of our processes, a lot of these forms may become redundant. But there is a reason that the visitor form is important, and that is the privacy agreement for both things. BNI is going to add them to Bob's database of people to contact, and that's part of the registration agreement. You are not authorized to write to them. BNI is. You have to ask their permission. You cannot add them to your database. Every visitor cannot be added to your database and your MailChimp. Don't do it. Invite them to join your database and get your stuff by all means, but do not just automatically add them. And vice versa, they are signing an agreement that says that they can't do that to you either. They are not allowed to add every member to their database. They have to ask for permission to do that. We've added that to the agenda at All About Business and just made that part of when we're passing the business cards around, we just reiterate that in a nice way. Thank you for taking all of our business cards. You're welcome to take any or all of them. Please don't add us to your databases for your mailing distributions unless you've gotten explicit permission from each person. All of you can do this job. There are official people who are going to be doing this job, but sometimes they get stuck in those introductions. Sometimes they can't get back out of the vortex of the chapter because the vortex of the chapter is strong. The gravity pulls you away and makes you want to network, and you get involved in a conversation even when you're just doing a quick introduction. So number one, the role of the escorts is to come back. They should be like a boomerang, back, out and back. You might think this room is small, and it is, but it will be difficult when you have a lot more people in here to go out and back. So remember that. If you're here, you're here. And there's usually two of you, again, so you can keep each other company while you're waiting for visitors to come in. And then when the visitors come in, these people can't leave. They need you there. So these people are going to count on you to be there, and if they can't find you, they should be able to count on any other member to be called over to take that visitor in and make them feel comfortable. Find them a seat, get them a coffee, ask them some questions, make sure they're comfortable with their 40 seconds. You are going to run your meetings the way you want to run your meetings, and do you allow the visitors to speak and do the whole thing, or do you need to coach them into an introduction? And if their introduction includes their name and what they do and maybe their unique selling practices and nice, sharp, and short, well, then coach them that way and say, we're so excited to meet you. If you limit them to 15 seconds, and I don't know what you're going to do, but some chapters limit the visitors to very short introductions. Don't say, we limit you to 15 seconds. Don't make it all bad. Make it all good. We let all of our visitors introduce themselves. There's a 15-second limit for that, so just be aware of that. Let's figure out what we can say. Help them. Don't make it limiting, even though it is. It's timed because we have an agenda to follow. So just be positive about it, and it will make them feel better. If you're going, you only get 15 seconds. I'm so sorry. Then it's going to sound negative. But if you make it seem positive, so whatever your practices are for your agenda, explain them in a positive way. We allow our visitors to introduce themselves. There's a 15-second limit, so should we practice? Do you want me to help you, or are you pretty good? I'm good. I'm fine. I can get across what I need to in 15 seconds. I just walk up and say, all right, I'm Wendy the Candle Lady. And I then move back, and I'm done. You can call me if you want to, and my card's on the tray. I'm done. I don't need to say much more. I always bring my visual. And now it's on the video. The introducers welcome the person again 3 welcomes. They're feeling really good. They got greeted, they got received, and now they're getting escorted. It's a lovely day for them so far. They're about to get a coffee. Sweet. Explain the infomercial, and so that's the 15 to the 30 to the 40 seconds that they get to talk, whatever they get to talk. Do they need any assistance with that? Explain the refreshments. They don't know that you sit down first and then the food comes. Tell them that. Say, so the way that it works, the way it works is we'll find you a seat now. Breakfast is going to come later. We just do coffees now. So just explain to them. They don't know. Is there a buffet outside that they're going to have to go to later? Or they might be starving. Or they might be vegetarian. I'm vegetarian. You know what? You know whose job that is to take care of that? Whoever they tell. If they tell you they're vegetarian, you're the host. You need to know who to talk to about that. So find out who in this place is responsible for bringing a vegetarian meal, and make sure that you assist and facilitate that. All right? Don't palm that off on someone else. They've just told you, and you're the host. Introduce them to their contact sphere. So to your point, who do they want to know? Who do they want to be introduced to? And that's what you ask them. And if they say, oh, I don't really know, then introduce them to someone nice. That should be all of you. There should be no problem just introducing them around. Guide them to a seat, and then return to the welcome point like a little boomerang, right back, so that you can greet the next one. Now, on average, you should be bringing at least 1 visitor per month. How do you bring 1 visitor per month? You invite lots of people all the time. Invite people all the time. Just come experience this meeting. It's fantastic. It grows and builds our business. And right now, you could be already lining people up. Imagine if you had like 50 people here on your first open meeting. Laura'd be freaking out. On average, if each of you is bringing 1 per month, then that means there will be 6 visitors every week, on average, if there's 24 of you, right? Did I do good math then? That was all right. So let's just say 6 per week, and you should make sure that they are not sitting all together. There's not a visitor table. Make sure that they're interspersed among members. You might put a little sign that says, visitor sit here, visitor sit here, visitor sit here, visitor sit here. If you know that 4 are coming, you could assign 4 seats. If you know that 12 are coming, you need to tell the venue that you need more room. Then you do the meeting. Now, I'm not going to train you on the meeting. That's another training. So you're going to get that training, don't worry. And you've all visited a chapter, so you know that there's a structure to it. It starts at 7:30. We ding the bell. We start the meeting. We do all of the introductions. Then we do the 10-minute presentation, and then we do the I have section at the end, and then there's a few other announcements like who the next week's speakers are, a little bit of social stuff, all of that. And then we ask the visitors to please stand, and we acknowledge them. We usually clap because, cool, they got up so early, and they made such an effort, and we're really glad to have them. By the way, visitors are anybody that's not a member. Subs, thank you so much. Please stand. The visitors, the subs, visitors from other BNI chapters, and you're going to get lots of those, so please consider them visitors and ask all of them to rise and say, listen, thank you so much for coming. We have a visitor orientation for our subs, our visiting chapter members, and our visitors, and we would love for you to come over to, the visitor host coordinator is usually the one who does this, but it doesn't have to be, because the coordinator gets to coordinate these things. The exposure of being the coordinator or being the education coordinator, it does give you a lot of exposure to the visitors and a lot of visibility. So it's quite a good role to have. And more than one person should know how to do this orientation, because if Giovanna, oh yes, can't be here, needs a substitute, she's going to have to assign someone else this responsibility. So I would love for all of you to be able to do this presentation that I'm about to do, if you'd like.